Well, good evening, everybody. How y'all doing? Hope everybody's had a great Christmas and everything's gone great. I just wanted to go over a few things about my vehicle I drive. Um, a lot of people have asked why I don't have a newer truck, for one, and all that kind of stuff. Well, it's a 2008 F-150, and this F-150 has been a good truck. I've had to do some stuff, well, a lot of stuff to the engine, but it's been good, and I've been able to fix what needs to be done myself because it's an older truck. Um, a lot of people, what they don't understand about newer trucks is they're 90% computer. What I mean by that is every piece of a newer truck from 2016 up has computer modules, sensors, everything like that everywhere. And those modules, if you mess it up, cost you a lot of money. More than what was wrong with the truck in the first place. And I'm going to give you just an example of something. Okay. So I'm going to bring you over here and show you a thing. That's why I got the hood propped open. And just going to go into deep. Now, this has got quite a few miles on it since I fixed it. I rebuilt this top half of the engine in June of this year, so June of 2025, so 6 months ago. And doing all the work and driving I do, I'll probably put another 30,000 miles on it this year alone. And that was before I rebuilt. That's not counting the mileage beforehand. So, here's the engine. It's a little 4.6 V8. It's not the biggest, stoutest, strongest engine whatsoever, but here's the deal. All the injectors I've replaced. These injectors I've replaced. These heater coil hoses. These hoses. All the hoses I've replaced. The vacuum lines that go from here back I've replaced. These vacuum lines I've replaced. All back in there that go to the four-wheel drive vacuum lines I've replaced. And the radiator. Brand new radiator. And while I was at it, I went ahead and put a new water pump. That's a brand new intake on here. It looks dirty, I know. Looks like the original. But that's because I put OEM parts on it. So, in going through all this, I'm just saying, I'm going to set this right up here. Now, I'm just saying, with me doing all the work, rebuilding this myself, not counting labor, not counting anything else, and I didn't go to the parts stores to buy it because it costs too much from the parts store, so I ordered it offline, but it's the Ford recommendation OEM parts. And everything I have put on here, new brakes all the way around, 2 rotors on the back, and brakes. I'm trying to think what else. A few other things. New headlights, put those in when I first got the truck. New battery. Water pump. Changed the the heater core. Changed that out while I was at all this stuff, because why not, since I was already gutting out everything else. I'm trying to think of what else. There's been a few other things, but keeping it stock. Oh, new injectors. Yeah, new injectors. New coils, new spark plugs. I'm trying to think of everything else. Basically, what you need to do to maintain your vehicle. And for me, I've been doing this my whole life. Been doing it myself. So with me doing it, not having to pay somebody, saved me thousands and thousands of dollars. But I've done all of this for like $960, and that's all it cost me for the parts. That's everything. New radiator, new all the lines, everything like that. Vacuum lines, everything. Now, spark plugs, coils, fuel injectors, and a few other things that I'm missing something that I didn't say, but anyway. So what I'm trying to get at is I can work on these. Last 2 years ago, year and a half ago, I owned a 2018 Ram 2500 that I use for work. Now that Ram, it was used when I bought it, and it had 103,000 miles on it. It was a gas 6.4 Hemi in it. I didn't know that much about Hemis. I never owned a Ram 2500 before. Didn't know anything about them. I learned a lot real quick. They're not reliable. And the reason I say that is because from day one, driving off the car lot, I went through, right away I drove 140 miles home in that truck, and the brake module went out. Yeah. Now, again, that's a computer piece. Now, a computer piece, when that goes out, guess what? You have no brakes. And I was driving that truck home on the highway. Brakes go out. I had to use the emergency brake. Wasn't fun. So, in doing so, all that happened. And, yeah. I had to call the dealer. Well, they came and they ended up putting a, bear with me, I'm going to get back inside in a minute. Anyway, I just want to show you that right there. But the dealer that I bought it from, it was of course, a Chevy dealer. And they didn't want to actually work on it, so I had to fight and all that stuff tooth and nail to get everything fixed. Come to find out, transmission was slipping, and it has computer modules on it too. Computer modules on that thing, you have computer module 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 4 are external of the transmission. 2 and 3 are internal on the transmission on a Ram 2500. And they didn't know which one was bad. And they were telling me it was going to cost $10,000 basically to replace the transmission. Now, with me not even owning it, but just a day, if you want to say a day, they fixed all that. And I didn't have to pay. But the point I'm getting at is this. I couldn't work on it. The reason I couldn't work on it wasn't because of warranty problem. It was because of computer problems. Later, down the road, after all that was fixed, the radiator goes out. You have to replace the radiator. I didn't even put 8,000 miles on the truck. And radiator goes out. Well, on the radiator, I had to basically take it to a shop to have them do it because you have computer modules on the radiator. You have like 1 or 2 on each side of the radiator, and if you break or bump or do something to those modules, computer modules on a truck or a car, it's going to cost you about $1,800 to $2,800 per module, computer module, to replace. So I had to spend from $400 on a radiator alone, cost me about $1,200 labor to have it put in. Then it was having overheating problems. So then I had to take it back to the shop to get a new thermostat and everything put in. While they were at it, I had them replace the water pump. There was just flaw after flaw after flaw. It was a domino effect on that truck. It was a bad truck. But what I'm getting at is this. I couldn't work on it. I tried to change brakes on that sucker. You had to have certain tools in order to change the brakes. I've changed brakes on this truck. I've changed brakes on my mom and dad's Jeep. I've changed brakes on Silverados, older models. And I've changed brakes on from Ford, Chevy, GMCs, Buicks, Lincoln Town Cars, Crown Victorias, 1950s model trucks and cars, 70s models vehicles, drum brakes, you name it. I've dropped transmissions, rebuilt them, put them back in on older cars like that, 70s and 80s, that are rear-wheel drive. And doing that, I can do. But these newer ones with a computer, I can't touch. So here's where I'm getting at on all this together. I just showed you all the stuff I'd rebuilt on that truck. Now, that's the top half of the block. The bottom half, it's in good shape. There's no crack yet in the block. It's got 236,000 miles on it. Yeah, 236,000 miles on it. And runs like a champ. And I'm getting 25 miles a gallon with that truck. I drove it for a little fun drive yesterday just to get away. That's my only vehicle. That's my only transportation. And I was getting 25 miles a gallon with that truck. Not pulling the trailer. I mean, it's a workhorse. So it's my daily drive workhorse. And I get 25 miles a gallon. That Ram, it was not a diesel. It was a gas-powered V8 Hemi, 6.4 liter Hemi. And I hated that truck. I loved the looks of it. I liked the interior of that 2018 Ram, but I did not like the power. I didn't like anything else electronically. Everything, drivetrain, transmission, electric, all that components, that I wanted to yank all that out. But here's the deal. I got rid of that truck and bought this one. So I downsized, and I went 10 years older because I knew I could work on this truck. And here's what I'm getting at on that as well. Before I even got that 2018 Ram, I had owned a 2007 Chevy Silverado work truck. It was a red one. And it had the cat eye headlights on it, if you know what I'm talking about. It was the classic truck. So anyway, it had a longer bed on it. Wasn't considered long bed, but it was a longer bed than this truck has. Anyway, had an extended cab, so the back doors open backwards. Had a bench seat in the back. Not that anybody rode back there. Again, it's just me. But I owned that truck for years and years and years. Now, when I purchased that truck, I bought it used. Now, that truck had a 4.8 liter V8. It wasn't very peppy at all, okay? I have more torque on this 4.6 liter than I did with the 4.8 liter Chevy. So anyway, all I'm saying is this. That truck, though, that Chevy, 2007, I had that truck for years and years, and I bought it with 87,000 miles on it. And when I got rid of it, it was in mint condition. no scratches because I take care of my trucks, take care of all my stuff. I was able to change oil, change the transmission fluid, change the filter on the transmission all the time. Every 25, 30,000 miles, I drain the fluid on the transmission. And people are going to be like, oh, you don't need to do that. I do, because I try to take care of everything. So anyway, 25, 30,000 miles, I change the transmission fluid out. I change the filter. I do all of that myself to keep it maintained and going. Now, that 2007 Chevy Silverado, there was absolutely nothing wrong with it. The reason that I even got rid of that truck, that black trailer that I have now, not the box trailer, but the black trailer. The black trailer is 16 foot long, and with when I had the 2 zero turns on it, that was actually weighing the truck too heavy for it to actually pull without struggling. The engine was struggling just a little. Mind you, the mileage on that truck, I hit over 300,000 miles. Yes, on that Chevy Silverado. I didn't have oil leaks. I didn't have all this other crap because I took care of that truck. Now, I never had to pull the top half of the engine off. I never had to rebuild anything on that engine. It was a great truck. The engine was good. It was a good workhorse, okay, a good work truck. But it didn't have the right gear ratio in the rear end. Now, if I would have been smart, I would have changed the gears in that rear axle, beefed up the transmission, and I'd still have that truck today. Probably crossing 450,000 miles on it. However, I didn't think about doing all that. No, instead I was thinking, I need to get a 3/4 ton truck. That was my foolishness. Now, here's where I'm getting at. That Chevy Silverado had, the rear end had I want to say 323 or 327 gears in the rear end. It's low gears to just cruise down the highway at low RPM. So again, it's a work truck, but it wasn't really meant for heavy hauling and all that stuff. Okay, it could haul, but it wasn't meant for heavy hauling stuff. Now, the gears that are in, I'm going to go to the Ram 2500, okay? That 2018 that I replaced. Yeah, I hated that truck. But anyway, the Ram 2500, 2018, 3/4 ton. That had some like 410, 455 gears in it. I'm not real sure. But they were workhorse gears, is what they were. The torque on that thing was crazy. It could pull and pull and pull, no struggle. But you drive that thing long ways, your back hurts, your butt hurts. It was uncomfortable all the way around. I checked all the suspension. I changed the rear shocks. I did all I could to that truck to make it comfortable. I changed the tires out. And that's another thing on that Ram 2500. I went through 4 sets of tires in less than 16 months. And I didn't even put, but I think 28,000 miles. No, I put 32,000 miles total on that truck when I owned it. Yeah, you heard me right. So about every 8 to maybe 10,000 miles, I'd had to buy another set of tires. When I first purchased the truck, those tires that were on it had to go because they were already out of balance and they were wobbling like this really bad. So that was the first set when I first purchased. I go 8,000 miles, had to buy another set. I go another 8,500 miles, had to buy my second set. And then I go another barely 9,000 miles, barely. Didn't even cross 9,000. And I bought my third set. Yeah. And after that, I had to buy the other set right as I crossed about, 27,000 miles total that I'd driven the truck. And I was like, this is stupid. So I put a U set on the last set I bought because it was expensive. So anyway, point I'm getting at, if newer cars didn't have all these computer modules on them, I would buy a new car. I'd buy a new truck and work with it. And I know that there's going to be some comments on here stating, well, you can buy a new one and have a warranty. Okay, you're right. But did you know that it takes time when they cover the warranty? And you're not always guaranteed a car, or much less another truck, for work. You know that, right? Okay. And I've known too many people right now that are buying new cars. They barely drive off the lot and have to have it back in the shop to get it fixed. 2025s. I don't want that. I don't want that. So, I'm old school. I like to work on my trucks. I like to be able to work on my vehicles, change everything, keep it going myself. Whatever breaks down, I like to be able to fix it. Now, a lot of people, they don't know how to do that kind of stuff. And I understand. No big deal. But what I'm trying to get at is, with all the changing going on right now, where do you think we're going to be in another 5, 10 years? Where do you think we're going to be? Because my truck right now, January, it's going to be 18 years old. Yeah. So if my truck's going to be 18, it'll be 28 years old another 10 years, nearly 30. So am I going to have that truck? I'm going to try to hold on to it. What am I going to do if the engine goes out? I got my mind set to just go ahead and buy another engine, rebuild it, and have it ready. Torque it up. You know what I mean? Beef it up a little bit. Put a better cam, put better pistons, better rods, and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to beef it up to race. I'm going to beef it up to be able to work and go on with that, make it stronger. I'm not going to put a torque or a turbo on it or nothing like that. No, I'm not trying to do that. What I'm trying to do is keep it as stock as possible, but beef it up on the internal of the combustion and all that stuff. Now, a lot of people today, they don't get that. They don't understand that because they're not trained on that. They're not taught that kind of stuff. I've been taught that since I was a kid. So, yeah. And I'm in my mid-40s right now, and I've been working on vehicles all my life. So my first vehicle, 53 Dodge pickup. Yeah, Flathead 6 was in it. 3 on the tree. And it was a great truck. I swapped the engine out. Actually, my brother ended up swapping the engine out with the 350 out of a Chevy Camaro. And turbo 350 trans on it. So it went from a manual transmission to an automatic transmission. And then we built all kinds of other stuff on it. But, point being, it was still a Dodge truck, powered by Chevrolet. It was crazy. Then I had a 51 Ford pickup with a 455 Oldsmobile under the hood big block. Yeah, you remember the Rockets? I don't know if anybody remembers the Rocket engines or not. Well, I had one. And I'm going to tell you something. It would sing and it would go. Man, it was powerful. But, anyway. I owned my other car was my favorite one was a 72 Buick Skylark. Had a 350 in it. Had to rebuild the top half of it. But you know what? It was a good car. And so on and so on. I owned a, let's see, '91 Chevy. Um, um, wasn't a Silverado, but it was a Chevy truck. '91 short bed, single cab, and it was a clean truck. I called it just Dookie Brown. That's the color it was. Had a 350 in it, and it was the Quadrajet. Woohoo! But that little truck there, I had fun with it. And the only thing I had to replace on that was the transmission, which was a Turbo 400, which had overdrive. So that was a good truck. Should have kept it, but I didn't. I moved on. I did own, see, '99 Dodge Ram 2500 with a diesel, but that was a '99. That was before. That was when diesel 12 valve had like 100 and might have been 220 horses. I think it was 160, had a turbo on it, brought it up to 220 horse, but the torque on that thing was crazy. And it was automatic. It was a good truck, but it wasn't no computer on it. There was no computer modules, nothing like that. It was just a basic diesel Cummins 5.9 liter Cummins. So anyway, that was a good one right there. And then I did have a little Dodge Ram. It was a 2005 Dodge Ram with a 4.7 Magnum V8. And that Ram there, that was a good truck. That Dodge, that was a clean truck, single cab. In fact, if I were to put it side by side with my F-150 now, they'd be identical. Same color, same size, same cab industry and all that kind of stuff. But it was an 05 instead of an 08. But I mean, it was a clean truck. But I could work on it. All the trucks and stuff I've had in the past, I could work on. I did own a 2005 Dodge Neon during that 2000 and what year was that? We had the gas gouge going on in 2008. Can't remember what years it were. Anyway, I ended up going in the oil field working that year, or those 3 years, oil field. But I drove a Dodge Neon, 05 model. I got 32 miles a gallon with that thing. It was crazy. So, but I could work on it. I changed the brakes, changed the spark plugs, piston, or not the piston, but spark plug coils, timing chain, control arms on the front. I aligned it myself. I did the alignment job myself. That wasn't hard. And I had a spoiler on the back of it. That's what it came with. I think it was the SXT or SRT or something like. I don't remember. Had the fog lamps and stuff. It was a neat little car. Wasn't no slap shift. It was a 2 point. Man, what year? What did that have in it? It had a 2.4 liter. Yeah, 2.4 liter 4-cylinder. No turbo. No nothing like that. But I want to tell you something. That thing got down the road really well. So again, the reason I'm talking to you about all this is because that's why I own an older truck. Is because I have tried to get a newer truck. 2018, and it bit me hard to where I don't even want to deal with a newer truck. And if it's a 2016 and up, I don't want that truck. 2015, I can still work on it. There's not as many computer modules on a 2015. There are modules on them, but not as many. Do you realize, I'm just asking you this, do you realize that on that 2018 Ram 2500, there were 104 computer modules all through the truck? That's under the engine bay and dash. Do you realize that? That's not counting what's under your seats for sensors, protection, airbags, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. That's just under the hood, dash, for all the engine components. Think about that for a minute. 104 computer modules just on that area. It's crazy, man. And you wonder why prices are stupidly high? It's because of the computers. It's because of the computers. Think about it like this. How much does your phone cost? Look how small your phone is. You hold it in your hand, it's about the size of your hand, right? Well, you got multiple of those. Of what's inside your phone, all that computer junk and everything in your phone, all of that is throughout your vehicles, new vehicles. They have spy cameras, they have microphones in your car, they have control to turn your car on and off, everything. So, yeah, I don't want that. I don't feel safe with that. I'm old school. So, you know, I would like to get a Ford F-250. That would be great. I would love to have that. And if it's a diesel, I want an older model diesel. I want the 7.3. Yeah. I want the one that blows the black smoke when you're pulling. I'm just one of those guys. That's just me. But anyway, the one that doesn't have to be regulated, that's what I want. Now, I'm old school. I don't want the 6.0 Power Stroke. Those are horrible. I don't want those. I think it's the 6.3 or 6.4 Power Stroke. Those are good. And the 6.8, depending on what year, 6.7 or 6.8, I don't remember what year it was. Anyway, one of those Power Strokes are good. But if it's newer than 2014 on the Ford Power Strokes, I don't want it. So I will go up to a 2014 model on the Power Stroke because I know how to work on diesels too. But I won't go any newer than 2014. I ain't going to do it. Otherwise, I'll have to take it to the shop and get it worked on. And I'm not doing that. Or, if I can come across a Ford F-250 crew cab with a gas, I think it's the 6.2 gas, you never hear anything going on with those. And they are bullets. I mean, they're good. So, they're bulletproof. So, I would take that. And I would take that over a 5.4 any day. I don't want a 5.4 Triton. No. Don't want a 5.4. Skipping that. No. I'll take my 4.6 over the Triton over that any day. So anyway. No, I just wanted to bring that up because I was watching something and they were talking about why are people buying older cars, you know, and why are like AutoZone and O'Reilly's not helping out like they used to. There's going to be a change in the next year, 2026, here in the next few weeks, or not even few weeks, few days. It's Christmas. Today is Christmas. So January 1st, come around, 2026. I already know there's going to be a change in the parts stores. I don't know what. But I'm not concerned on them because I don't buy my parts through them anyway. I go online and order all the parts I need. Now, if there's a change online, okay, I'll figure out what I need to do. But you got to realize, too, I've already bought a bunch of other parts ahead of time since I've got that Ford going. I've already bought new belts, new spark plugs, new coils. I have a whole nother set of coils, a whole nother set of spark plugs. I have other parts for my hoses to be replaced if they need to be replaced. I'm ahead of time. I try to stay ahead because that's my only transportation, and I need the part now in order to fix it if something breaks down. I don't need to struggle and figure out, oh, what am I going to do to get around? I can't do that. And I'm honestly, I'm too old for that. So I got to think ahead and plan ahead and put it aside. And so that's what's something that's not taught anymore in anything on school-wise. It's not taught about that. Needs to be taught, but it's not. And You know, all I can say is I pray for the people. I pray for the kids nowadays because I don't know what they're really being taught. I don't have any kids. Don't plan on having any kids. But the way society is, they don't need to be in this society. I feel bad for the kids that are here. But that's a whole nother story, whole nother realm of everything. And, you know, with the way everything is flipped in society, I don't know what to say. We're either going to have another, I don't know what to say. But all you can do is prepare. Am I saying go buy all the canned food in the world? No, I'm not saying that. But all you can do is prepare for it. You know? I'm in the world, but I'm not of the world. And there's a difference on that. There's too many people that are of the world, doing what the world is doing, involved too much in the world. I, on the other hand, I'm not in the world, or not involved with it. And when it comes to politics and crap, I'm out. That's something I don't want to discuss. So, point I'm trying to say is the vehicles that are coming out are trash, and they are controlled by computers. 90% or more of all vehicles now that are brand new are computers, and you can't rebuild them. You can't buy parts for them, and you can't fix them. So what are you going to do with that new vehicle in 5 years when the warranty's out? What are you going to do? You're going to have to trade it in and go in debt on a whole nother vehicle that may not even be worth it. Do you see where I'm coming from? I'm not going in debt on another vehicle. Ain't happening. If I get another vehicle, it's going to be another old truck like I've got, so that I can work on it and so that I can do what I need to do. That's all I'm trying to say, guys and girls. That's all I'm trying to say. Ladies and germs, that's all I'm trying to say. I don't know. Where am I going to be in 25 years? Probably doing the same thing I'm doing right now. My house is my house. It's mine. I built it. It's paid for. I don't have any debt on my house. It's mine. And I'm proud of it. Is it the most pretty thing around? No, probably not. Is it the biggest thing? Oh, no. It's not the biggest one around at all. But it suits me just fine. I've been here 4 years. This is my 4th Christmas right here. And I love it. I love it. My shop's paid for because that's something else. When I was building the house, I said I need a shop that's at least 2 to 3 times the size of my house because of all of my work tools and my truck, my trailer, my equipment. I need the space. I know what I need. And when you know what you need, you get what you need. And that's it. Now, on the financial side of things, I'm going to tell you right now, I ain't rich. Not going to be rich, probably, because I'm a hardworking guy. I put money aside, but at the same time, I paid off a lot of debt. And the only debt that I've been in is dealing with my lawn equipment. When it comes to my lawn service, that's where I've poured more of my money than I poured in my house, is in my lawn service. Yeah, that's right. In the past 3 years, I have probably spent close to $300,000 on lawnmowers. Yeah, that's right. And was that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, it all depends. It's a good thing because it's new. Bad thing because it's too expensive. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not recommending that you just go out and buy all of that stuff and spend all that money. I'm not saying that at all. But when you're growing, when you're starting into a business, or when you're getting fresh equipment, you need to think about logically. What's your income going to be? How much can you afford? How much are you going to be able to set back while you're paying it off? Because if you buy the equipment like I bought, you're not going to be able to pay cash on it. You got to finance it. Now, with that being said, I have gone from $78,000 debt this year to where I'm all the way down to just barely $32,000 right now. That's what I paid off this year alone. So I'm almost debt free. And that's just on lawn equipment, okay? And I'm pretty happy about that. Now, but I've had to put all kinds of other stuff out as well. So again, I'm not rich, but at the same time, I'm comfortable and I'm satisfied with myself. And that's where you've got to be. Are you happy with what you've got? Are you pleased with where you're at in life? Are you trying to be better than the Joneses? Or are you trying to compete with, the Joneses? I mean, I'm just asking. That's an old saying in case you don't know what that means. You had the Smiths and the Joneses of what you had back in the day. Okay, the Smiths were average and the Joneses had the big mansion and all that stuff. Well, I'm your average Joe. That's who I am. I'm your average Joe. And I'm not trying to blend with anybody. I'm not trying to match up with anybody. Because I don't care. I stay out of everybody else's business. And I just go for what I know that I need in my life. So, with that being said, I'm going to cut it off right here. And I'm just going to say, you got to think really hard before you spend $100,000 on a truck, car, vehicle, period. Because I built my house for $50,000. And it's paid for. I don't see the point in buying a truck that's going to cost twice as much as my house. That's stupid. It ain't happening. So, and I'm not going to spend that kind of money. Not on a truck that I'm going to work and drive and have to repair and replace and all that kind of stuff. That ain't happening. So, that's all I'm trying to say. The new vehicles, in my opinion, of course, it ain't worth 2 cents. But my opinion, the new vehicles, they ain't worth it. They're not worth it. So, since I'm still at the age of being able to handle things myself, rebuild and restore and keep going, then I'm going to keep doing that. If I ever get to a point in life where I can't do it, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to pray. But anyway. Alright, well. I know I've taken too long. What is it? 43 minutes? About 44 minutes now. So, y'all have a good night. God bless. But have a wonderful Christmas. And see you next year. Peace out.